So you're ready to buy a home, but you're not quite sure where to start. Well, you've come to the right place because today I'm going to share with you some things you need to consider when you start your home search. Whether you're a first-time home buyer and you have no clue what's going on or where to start, or maybe you're a seasoned buyer, but you haven't bought a house in a couple of years and you just can't quite remember all the steps. Well, today I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of the key steps that you need to know when purchasing a home. And if you want to go more into detail, you can head over to my blog here on my website and you can listen in detail about these different key steps that I'm going to share with you right now. Step one, you need to determine what you can afford. And the best way that you can determine what you can afford is by talking to a lender. I know a lot of times when people decide they want to go buy a house, they call up a realtor and they say, let's go look at this house, and this house. Well, that's really doing you a disservice. Why? Because ultimately, I don't know what you qualify for. And the best way for us to understand what it is that you qualify for is for you to speak to a lender. So I always request that my buyers speak to a lender to get pre-approved. And what does this process look like? They're going to have a conversation with the lender where they're going to briefly, share what their income is, what their debt is. It's not a time when they're actually, handing in all their documents. But it's a time when they're going to have a quick phone conversation with a lender. And based off of what you tell the lender is then going to determine what you pre-qualify for. Meaning this is what they believe you would qualify for without getting all your documentation. The next step is if for some reason you don't have a realtor, well, call me. Yes, call me. I am here to help. I would love the opportunity to see if we might be a good fit to work together. Once we know what you qualify for and you've decided I'm your girl, the next step is going out and touring homes. This is the fun stuff. This is where we get to go take a look at all the different homes that match the criteria of what you're looking for. And oftentimes, I always tell people, you might be surprised at what you actually see in person versus what you see online. So it's a great time to go get your feet wet, take a look at all the different floor plans that are out there, and you get the opportunity to see what home might fit your needs. Once we found the home, well, now it's time to make an offer. Yes, this is a point in time where we sit down and I discuss with you what I believe is a fair offer for the home. This is also a time where we can discuss the different terms and conditions that are items that we can ask for, things that are negotiable in the contract. So this is where we put all of our terms and conditions and price into the contract that we're going to submit over to the seller. Once the seller has reviewed our offers, they have three options. They can accept it, they can reject it, and they can negotiate it and counter it. Do not be surprised if they counter your offer. This is all part of the sales process, so please do not get offended. Once all terms and conditions have been negotiated, well, now it's time for the lender to start doing their part. This is when they're going to start collecting all the documentation of your bank statements, your W-2s, all the things that they need to do to fully underwrite your file to make sure that you qualify to buy the home. So over the next 30 days, this is where the lender is going to do their side of the job. They're going to make sure you fully qualify. I'm going to make sure that we've satisfied the conditions on our end of the contract, such as doing the home inspection, getting the appraisal order. The lender is going to go down their path of reviewing your financials and determining whether you do or don't qualify for the home. Once we've got final approval from your lender that you indeed qualify, now it's time for the final walkthrough. Final walkthrough is a time when we go back through the home prior to closing, where we make sure that the home is in the same condition as what it was in when we looked at it the first time when we went under contract, and that any and all repairs that were requested have been completed. And finally, closing day. In Arizona, closing day is also the day that you will get your keys and that you can move in.